As the wheat grows, it gets probably about this tall, and that's what this picture is. And up on the top, you'll see the top looks a little bit funny. That's what we call the head of the wheat. That's where it's producing the seed. Go ahead, Kelly. And here you can see better, these are the heads of the wheat, and this is the wheat when it's just about ripe, ready to be harvested. It turns from that green color into a real pretty golden color. Then we come into the field with this machine we call a combine, and a combine's really a cool piece of equipment. It cuts the wheat off. As the wheat goes through the combine, it separates the wheat out of the straw. The wheat seed will go up into the bin of the combine, and the straw will go out the back and it'll spread it on the ground. When the hopper gets full on the combine, then this is what we refer to as a grain cart. He'll drive right along beside the combine and auger the wheat into there at the same time he's combining while they're moving. This is just another picture of another combine. There he's dumping the wheat right on the truck. And most of the time, bins, sometime during the year, the wheat will be hauled to a flour mill. This is a modern flour mill. But do you know what the first flour mills look like? You've got one right here in Milbank. The windmill that sits along the road out here, that's what what they use to grind wheat. Actually, they take those kernels and they grind them up into a really fine white flour. You've probably all seen the flour that your mom bakes with. Actually, they used the wind for power to run the mill back years ago. Now the modern mills are run all with electricity.
We run a dairy operation up there. This morning I milked 65 cows. We have a total of about 80 mature cows, and then we also have about another 85 of the younger ones. This is a picture of my parlor, and these are 3 of the cows. Actually, in this segment, we milk 6 on each side, so we can milk a total of 12 cows at a time. And they come in, they just walk in, and there's a little gate there, we hold them there, and they can stand there very comfortably, and that's where we extract the milk from them. And this is actually one of the cows actually being milked. This is the apparatus that is used. This itself weighs about 5 pounds. And it's very gentle on her, and it simulates a calf nursing on the cow. But as you can see, there's this little stream of milk there. And what happens is that'll come down, runs in a tube, and then down here underneath the platform there's called a stainless steel pipe. And that stainless steel pipe, it's gravity flow. It takes a collection area, and then from that collection area we pump it up into the bulk tank where it is cooled. And I think, is that next? Yep, that's the bulk tank. And that tank there will hold about 1,500 gallons of milk if it was completely full. One of the things we use don't hardly run at all. I can take enough heat as I cool this milk to warm the water that I can use for other things. This is just a picture of one of our cows. We milk Holsteins and Brown Swiss are our 2 main breeds we have, and this is just one of our Brown Swiss laying there. As you can see in our stall, we use sand for them to lay on. It's very comfortable. It's like sleeping on a board as compared to sleeping on a mattress. I mean, it's just soft and will shift to their body weight, and they just love it.
After 21 days, boy, we got to take them away from their mom. So we take them to what we call a nursery. A nursery's warm. It's like 80 degrees in there. You can see right here, this is kind of what they eat. It's kind of a little pellet kind of a thing. We like to take the grain we feed them and make it into a little pellet, so they don't have to eat very many pellets to get the nutrition that they once got from nursing their mother. This is their next food source right here. So you got to take that little pig that just loved to cuddle up next to its mother and get its nutrition from its mother, and you got to kind of show them what now we got this cold old feeder that they've got to eat on. But what a day it takes, and they get used to that, the feed that is kind of sweet, and so they nose around in there and they find that feed. Go to the next. A lot of the nurseries from the outside look similar to this. Their buildings have usually got a feed tank on the outside and a white tube, and there'll be fans on the side of the building, but they're usually pretty smaller than the buildings you see, the larger finishing facilities. And again, inside a nursery, there might be 40 pigs in a pen. If the pen's really big, there might be 80 pigs in a pen. Okay, again, here's what they get used to drinking water out of now. See a little nip of water hanging there? They'll just grab right a hold of that and they'll suck on the end of that just like they used to suck on that little teat. Okay? Of course your feeders here. Notice how clean they are. Where's the poop ball go? Goes down through the slats and it's stored underneath the building. It isn't here. So if it's like this on the outside, Kelly, or it's like that, we know those pigs are still going to be comfortable on the inside of that barn. Pigs outside, they could be like this, standing out in the cold. Again, they don't have any clothes on. They're pretty cold out there. And how cold do you think it is out here?
No, wait.
Pretty cold, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably 30 degrees. Something like. How cold? How warm do we want to keep them?
80.
Well, in a finisher, we want to keep them about 65. So the little pigs is 80. In what we call a finisher barn, we want to keep it about 65. These guys have a little tough time when it gets out like it was last week when it's below zero. We'd rather keep them in something like this. Is another inside of a picture of another barn. This is after those little pigs started growing up. You see there's a lot more pigs in there's not any more pigs in the pen. It's just the room in the barn is a lot less. Okay? These guys are just about ready to market. But how warm is it in here? 65 degrees. Again, what do we got to do every day for chores? Make sure they have food, water, and they're warm. That's right. Go ahead, Kathy.